So Chris was having a ton of fun. We came down here and he's gone. What is going on?
Chris is going to find fun, you know.
That is true. It is Chris.
It's levels of fun.
Yes.
So evidently we were not fun enough for Chris.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it, Chris.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, he had to run. I'm super excited for this next segment, right? He's talking about gonna be intro to travel trailers. And it's one of those things, you know, when we talk about RVing and people getting into the lifestyle, the travel trailer is a good starting point because it's the easiest access, right?
It's awesome. You know, I have some of my best memories. As a kid, we traveled in a travel trailer, 77 Coupe de Ville, cruising down the interstate, pulling behind us a 19-foot Taurus. There was a big bull on the front. Loved it, man. Loved it.
That's a great looking rig.
It was a rig, all right.
Pretty colors?
It was a rig. What's that?
Is it pretty colors?
Oh, yeah. We had the green Coupe de Ville with the bright orange Taurus with the big, wide travel mirrors on the side.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Of us crammed in there like sardines. We don't talk anymore.
Well, for those of you who didn't have that experience and didn't have the coupe growing up, my man Chris is going to walk you through some of the travel trailers, talk to you a little bit about some of the benefits, the pros, the cons. So if you're looking to get into the lifestyle, this is one you don't want to miss.
You know, when it comes to towable RVs, there's pretty much only two types. You got travel trailers, which encompass a whole lot, and we're going to talk about today. And then you got fifth wheels. But back in 1929, Alan Sherman put a RV together for the first time. He called it the covered wagon. Now, flash forward to where we are now. Travel trailers look a whole heck of a lot different. But the basis is still the same. You got a flat aluminum frame that comes to an A-point that has a hitch at the very tip of it. Now that hitch usually is 2 inches or 2 inches and 5/16. That's pretty much the standard, although there are many various sizes inside those hitches when you're talking about hooking up to your truck. People call them tag along, they call them bumper pulls, whatever you want to call them. A travel trailer is one of the most versatile, wide open RV choices out there and the most popular. And on top of that frame, I like to call your vacation home. And when you think about your favorite ice cream joint, think about the same fact applies to a RV. Chris, what do you mean? Well, there are so many flavors. If you like Superman, you like Rocky Road, you like Moose Tracks, or you just want plain vanilla, there's a flavor in a travel trailer for you. Now, travel trailers range in size and weight. They can be anywhere from 1,500 pounds up to 10,000 pounds or more. And they start off with just those basic get up off the ground travel trailers, like the pop-ups or the fold-outs. You got rear bath models, rear living or rear entertaining models, everything for couples to large families like bunkhouse models, super front living models, super slide models, no slide models, double slide models, triple slide models, whatever you want, quad bunk models. Everything that you can imagine is built inside of a travel trailer. They range from 6 feet wide to 7 feet wide on this compact side, up to 8 feet wide on the travel trailers. The widest you're going to get is going to be 8 feet and 5 inches, or 8.5 feet. It's pretty much going to be the widest you're going to find. But they're going to stay right there in that 8-foot range. And as far as weight, from the 1,500 up to 10,000 pounds or more, they pretty much hover right there around that 52 to 5,500 pounds is the majority of the travel trailers. And as far as height goes, with the air conditioners on top, you're looking at 9 feet all the way up to 11 feet. So there's a wide range of RVs you can find in that travel trailer market. It just depends on what can your vehicle tow. Are you looking for a single axle travel trailer or a double axle travel trailer? Some of them can be towed by a Prius, all the way up to those full-ton trucks. It's just a matter of finding the one that's going to fit your vehicle, your lifestyle, and how many people you need to sleep, how much insulation and camp readiness do you need for those camping seasons, and how much comfort and amenities you want. Because we got high-end RVs, we got entry-level RVs, and today I'm going to take you through a little sample of each one. Now, bunkhouse models are the most popular across the country. So today we're going to be talking about bunkhouses. But like I mentioned before, you got rear entertaining, rear living, straight couples models, small family, large family, the whole nine. When you speak to your specialist at Camping World or at Gander, they're going to help you find the floor plan that's right for you. So what do you say we start everything off and let's go take a look at a really nice, smaller, 7-foot wide, entry-level bunkhouse.
The Land, Water, and RV Show is the hottest event of the summer. Join us in stores or online the entire month of June to unlock the lowest prices of the year on camping gear, fishing essentials, and active sports gear. Summer trips are better with the right gear, and you can get up to 35% off the gear needed for your next adventure during the Land, Water, and RV Show. Stock up for your next trip and get the best prices of the summer. Click, call, or visit your local Gander RV and Outdoors today.
So we're going to start off inside what's known as an entry-level bunkhouse travel trailer. Now, the one that I'm standing in currently is the Jayco J-Flight 174BH. This is 7 feet 1 inches wide. You're looking at 9 feet 9 inches high on the outside with the AC. But inside, we have 78-inch heights. Now, with entry-level travel trailers, they're going to be aluminum sided, which I'll talk about once we get on the inside. But they're still going to be packed full of features that you, your spouse, your loved ones, your family, your friends will be able to enjoy. If you're looking for that entry-level travel trailer, it's usually going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to be a little bit lighter. It may or may not have a slide on it. And for this one with the bunkhouse model, usually if it does not have a slide, you're going to get bunks on either the rear corner, off camp, or the rear corner campsite. And the campsite is just usually the right-hand side when you're inside the travel trailer. And you'll have a kitchenette on this side, mostly, little windows and stuff like that. And then the off-camp side is usually the left side. Now, these bunks, and there's tons of different manufacturers of RVs at entry level. Jayco happens to be one of the top selling travel trailer brands across the country. They do a really good job of the way they build their RV. They use solid wood construction on the cabinets. They use solid wood construction all around. For this is a wood-framed RV with blown insulation, kind of like what you have in your home. It's known as R7 insulation. And those wood studs, depending on the manufacturer, they might be 12 inches on center, they might be 16 inches on center, they might be 18 inches on center. If safety, security, and weight are something that you are concerned about, be sure to ask your specialist at Camping World or Gander, hey, with the construction, where are the studs? You know, are they 12 inch, 16 inch on center? You know, how is it made? Is the roof, you know, made well? In Jayco's instance, they have a Magnum truss roof. You can get 4,500 pounds on this roof by the way they constructed it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the outside once we get out there. So, well-built entry-level camper. Now, you're not going to have tons of amenities, tons of features, but if you just need something that you say, hey, I need to just lay my head down at night. We need a hunting cabin or a fishing cabin. We just come in, maybe cook a little meal, get cleaned up and sleep. These are absolutely great, especially if you're going to spend most of your time on the outdoors. These bunks with Jayco's, you'll notice their capacity is double what you're going to get in most other entry-level bunk models, or pretty much bunk models across the board. They're single bunks like we have here, 30 inches by 72 inches, can hold up to 300 pounds. One adult, and they have 4-inch thick furry mattresses. What's unique about this is most of the time the mattress is either 2 inches or 3 inches thick. You get what's known as the teddy bear style mattress. It's plush, it's comfortable, great for the kids, great for the dogs, or those friends that need to sleep off the wine tour. And this is what's known as a single over single bunk. You got a single bed on top, single bed on the bottom. Usually there is a storage compartment on the bottom, as you see here. Good spot to put some bags, maybe some fishing gear, some hunting gear. You'll usually have power outlets, LED mushroom lights like you see right here. You'll have those in the bunks as well. Now, this is our heat and air conditioning controls. With entry-level travel trailers, sometimes you'll get a window-mounted AC. That's an 8,000 BTU air conditioner. Sometimes you'll get like a 13.5 BTU like we have in here. This one is what's known as the GE, and it has the quick cool dump. These panels on the side open up to give you a really good blast of air right there. But if you just want it to be like a regular air conditioner, you close these out, and then they come through either the vents here, or if the air conditioner is ducted, they will come through the ducts in the ceiling. But this controls your heat and your AC. Now, as far as heat goes, a lot of entry-level travel trailers have either an 18,000 or 20 or 25. There's a big variance there. And depending on the insulation and depending on where you're going to go as far as camping, 3-season, 4-season, whatever, that's going to make a big difference, because 18,000, just a little bit less than 20, a lot less than 25. So if that's something that's important to you, be sure to mention that to your specialist when you talk to them about the entry-level RV that's right for you. On most entry-level RVs, you are going to get still solid pocket doors or solid swinging doors. On some of the bigger models, you'll see like the pocket door that'll slide in and out so you can get into the bathroom. You'll have the swinging door. This just gives you privacy into the bathroom. Now, as you can see here, we got ourselves a profiled plastic foot flush toilet here. Now I'm 6'2", I'm over 200 pounds. And you can see if I just want to get comfortable, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, but this is an entry-level slideless travel trailer. Having a slide really opens up the space all the way around the RV, but I'm still not too cramped. With the 78-inch high ceilings, I have good head height. I come into the bathroom, and a lot of times with the entry-level travel trailers, you're only going to get this right here. This is what's known as a single tub surround. You do have the shower here. It's the same paneling that goes around the rest of the RV. But when you step into it, you'll notice you need the skylight, which is something that's going to come pretty standard in all RVs. You're going to have a skylight near the bathroom or near the shower, in the bathroom or near the shower. This is great because it lets in a lot of natural light, but it also gives you additional headroom. You're going to have shower nozzles and shower controls. And what's great about the tub surround is you'll notice it goes about mid-calf height. So if you have the kids or the dogs, you need to get them cleaned up. They've been outside active and dirty the entire time. Come in here, get them cleaned up. You don't have to worry about splash over. A lot of times you're not going to get like a solid glass door on entry level, but you will get a shower curtain for privacy. Bring it in, you get a little bit of that splash security as well. Now on most models, you will get a vanity medicine cabinet and sink. With this one, the 174BH, it's the smallest. It's only 21 feet, 8 inches long, so you don't really have a ton of space on the inside of this one. That's why there's no sink in here. You do not have a medicine cabinet either, but you do have a vanity mirror there, and you have a vent. Most of them come with a vent and a fan, but sometimes for price point, they'll just give you the vent like we have here. Just, cut a few things out to save a few dollars here and there. That's really, how they kind of handle the entry-level RVs. Now with Jayco, the one thing that they do well across all models is pantry space. Construction and pantry space are a true good calling card for Jayco. You'll notice here, you're seeing this a lot with the manufacturers these days. Shaker style cabinets, solid wood construction, brushed nickel, sometimes matte black handles, drilled solid wood, and the pantry space that you have in here, it's wide and it's deep. So that's a pretty good space right there. You'll also have what I like to call the grab and go storage spots. A lot of times you'll have them here. You'll have them under the furnace like we have right here. It's usually not a lot of room because in most instances, it's really just covering up the construction, the tubing, the casing, stuff like that on the inside. But it's still good space, whether you want to do it for ward or whether you want to do it for pantry space. Now, with kitchens, you're seeing this a lot. You'll get solid surface countertops, molded, rounded edges, usually single basin sinks or double basin sinks. If you have the big spaces, you'll get an undermounted farmhouse style sink, high-rise faucets. Usually entry levels do not come with a sprayer nozzle, but they do have a high-rise faucet here. You'll have a 2 or a 3 burner. Like in this 174BH, we got the Suburban 2-burner cooktop right here. You got the hood, the High Point microwave. Most of the microwaves are 900 watts. You do have some of the high outputs that'll go 1100 watts. It's just going to vary, but there's always options too that you can change if you get our service team to help you out. You're usually going to have above the campsite space here, some storage compartments like we have there, more pantry space, board space, whatever. You have a GFCI outlet. This one's nice because it has a 12 volt. So if you get a 12 volt TV, you can hook that in there. There's your cable connection. Most RVs these days are already pre-wired with satellite cable and even Wi-Fi. So if you need to get a Wi-Fi booster or Wi-Fi put in the RV, it's already pre-wired for that. A lot of them are also pre-wired for solar as well. We'll talk about that on the outside. Here is what's known as kind of a little mini command panel. You'll see that you have this is the fault for the power. Here are your tanks and your batteries. You got gray tanks, black tanks, and fresh tanks. And this one happens to have a 20-gallon fresh and dual 19s. 20 gallons of fresh water to 19 gallons of gray and 19 gallons of black. And if you want to check those tanks and see how they are, here's the push buttons for it. Check my battery, my fresh tank, my black tank, my gray tank. That's just to let you know where we're at as far as space. If you're truly going off the grid and you're going to dry dock, that's going to be important to know how big those tanks are, because 20 gallons isn't a whole lot, especially for an RV like this with bunks that can sleep up to 5 people. Just something to think about when you're looking at your RV. This also has water heaters and a water pump. Now, most manufacturers are putting in a 6-gallon DSI water heater on their RVs, entry level all the way up to premier level. What that means is if you want to take a shower, that 6-gallon water heater preloads 6 gallons of hot water for you, so you can have a warm shower. A lot of times you're going to find like a 6, 7, or 8 cubic foot refrigerator on the inside as well. This just happens to be one of those instances where we get the Del Cool, what I like to call the dorm style fridge. They'll run on both gas or electric. Some of them will have the automatic switch. Some of them you just have to switch. But you'll see it's not a ton of space, and we even have the little freezer box in there as well. But hey, Kev, we got the little egg crate. How about that? Look at that. So if I want to get up and make some eggs Benedict, I can. And then when it comes to reconnecting time, which is what I love about RVs, any of them, this is where you do it. Now, this is only a 2-seater, what's called a booth dinette. You have multiple styles of dinette. You got the booth dinette, you got the U-shaped dinette. Some of them even have convertibles now, which are really cool. They switch in and out. But this is just where you sit, enjoy that camp cooked meal. This can also reduce down and become a sleeper because the cushions are convertible. And when you lay the table down, they extend out. Well, a lot of models, they extend out, they cover up the table, and then you have like a little bed. On most of them, you will get storage underneath the seating. Some of them will have drawers that pull out or doors that open up. This one happens to be the more standard of that style, with the storage compartment with the little panel that you lift up and you see right there. And a lot of times you're going to get, the overhead storage or the sofa storage up above as well. Same concept as on the campsite, good space if you need it. They try to really maximize the space. You're also going to get in just about every model an entertainment option. Now, some of these will have DVD player. Most of them will be Bluetooth. Most of them will be HDMI and USB, and most of them will also be dual zone, which means you can play the music inside or out because you have marine grade speakers outside as well. Last but not least, here on the inside, we have what's known as the main bedroom or the master bedroom. Now, this one happens to have a curtain that separates the sleeping area from the living area. Now, one of the things I tell people all the time is when you get your RV, get your own mattress. A lot of the manufacturers are putting good mattresses in their RVs. Like, for example, this one is a high density foam mattress. It's still comfortable. But look, if you're really going to be sleeping in this, you're going to be spending time in it. You want to invest in what's going to be good and right for you. And if that means a good night's sleep, we sell mattresses that will give you a good night's sleep. Not saying that these won't, but to me, that's always the first thing I tell people. Try to get your own mattress if that's important to you. This one happens to be a 60 by 80 queen size bed. You a lot of times will have opposing windows with wood valances. A lot of times you'll get decorative valances, the faux leather, the cloth. You'll get storage with suspension netting like we have here in this 174BH. And then usually underneath, you'll also have some storage. Sometimes it's accessible by the outside, sometimes it's not. Another couple of cool features that you'll get in every RV, an LPO2 detector like we have right here, and a fire extinguisher. So there we go. And you'll also get friction hinge doors. You'll get, nice friction hinge means that it opens up and stays like that. So when the breeze comes, it's not slamming all over the place. Some RVs will have solid steps going into the entry. Some won't. You'll usually have large grab handles. Some of them will have them just here on the side. This one, the 174BH, happens to have a 10-foot awning with the LED light strip, and you'll see that our speakers are actually mounted on the awnings. Now, sometimes they're here on the shell, sometimes they're there on the awnings. But regardless, entry level, you're going to get some of those same features. Now, this one being a single axle RV, that's what that means. You got one tire. This happens to be a 14-inch, but it's a Goodyear Endurance tire, and it's nitro filled. A lot of the manufacturers are using the Dexter Easy Lube axles. They're 3,500 pound axles that, like the name says, they're easy lubed. This, as I mentioned on the inside, is an aluminum siding. Now, the difference between aluminum and fiberglass, it really comes down to two things. The insulation that's on the other side, the insulation that's on the other side, and the actual paneling itself. With aluminum sided, you're gonna have that wood construction, like I'd mentioned on the inside, 12, 16, 18, 24, whatever it is, you know, on center. But if something happens and one of these panels gets dinged up, you can just replace this piece of siding right there. You don't have to worry about getting a whole entire panel like you would with fiberglass. All of the awnings, most of them, will have the adjustable pitch arm, so you can move it up and down. If there's gonna be a lot of rain, you can pull one side down so that's not gonna, you know, dump all over you or dump all over your friends. You'll notice too that there are a lot of features underneath the RV. Some of them will have enclosed and heated underbellies. This one does not, but you'll see low point drains. You usually get a 4x4 sewer hose storage on the back, spare tire mounted as well. Some of them will have rear backup cameras already pre-wired or sometimes even already in the RVs itself. This one happens to have rear, what's known as stabilizer jacks. You got two different types of jacks. You got stabilizer and you got leveling jacks. With entry level, I've rarely seen an entry-level RV that has leveling jacks. They're usually just stabilizing jacks. So they come down to help keep the RV stable. They're not really going to help you lift up and down. Most of the time with entry-level, they are going to be hand-operated as opposed to powered. But some of the features that are going to be standard, you're going to have sealed safety glass all the way around the RV. Most of the time it's tinted. You'll see right here our terminations or our dumps. The gray tank, noted by the gray handle. The black tank, noted by the black handle. Your city water connection, your cable connection, and sometimes you'll even have a black tank flush, which, trust me, that really comes in handy. Now this one, being 30 amp, because with travel trailers, you only have 30 amp or 50 amp. A lot of times the bigger ones, especially if they have two ACs, will have 50 amp. Some of them will have 50 amp converters built in them if you want to add a second AC. Our low point drains over here. And to fill up that 19-gallon fresh tank that I was talking about on the inside, you could do that right here if you wanted to go dry docking. One of the most important things on any RV, though, is going to be the info panel. This is where you really come. You know, sure, some of the features from the manufacturers are great. Like, for example, Jayco sets up J-Vision built in. So if you want to get, you know, side viewing, rear viewing, the whole nine, that's already there for you, pre-wired to get installed by our service folks at Camping World or at Gander. They also have, when you're going down the road, if you hit the right blinker, all the lights on the right side go off. Left blinker, all the lights on the left side go off. Lots of small little things that not only make camping much better and much more enjoyable, but make safety much better and much more enjoyable. Because a safe trip is a good trip. It's just one of those things that you got to ask your specialist at Camping World or Gander when you're getting your travel trailer, whether it's entry level or premier. Hey, give me those features. Tell me what's really good about it. Tell me about the roof, the Magnum Truss. You know, can you really get 4,500 pounds up there? You know, what's the difference between this roof and another roof? Ask those questions so your folks can point you in the right direction. But when it comes to weight, this is the gospel. Dry weight on this one, 3,500 pounds. Gross vehicle weight, 3,950 pounds. That's really where you got to ask your specialist at Camping World and Gander, hey, what does that mean? Because here's what my vehicle can tow. I got an SUV. I need to sleep 5 people, need to sleep 2 people, whatever. Is this what's right for me? You're going to get diamond-plated rock guards. Some of them will have the seamless Superflex roofs going over the top. This one, for example, has a 20-pound LP tank. Most of them have dual 20-pound tanks. This one has a hand crank for your hitch, which, as you can see, it's going to take a minute to put up and down. Some of them come with powered hitches, which is a very nice feature. It just all depends on what's your threshold for camping, what's your threshold for price. But as far as good entry-level starting family bunkhouse RVs, this Jayco J-Fly 174BH, pretty good option. I'm going to show you another good option coming up next.
I love you.
Love you too, Papa.
Hey, honey, look what I got. A triggerfish.
Don't settle for the trips you've always taken. There's a different way to travel. RVing is the way to go.
Take a look at this area. So cool. We're here!
You can see new things.
Wow!
Travel to new places. Seek new adventures. It's moving! All without leaving home behind.
You're so fun.
I know.
Travel different with Camping World.
So here we are in a good example of what I like to call a mid-level family RV. Now, I told you on the front end, we're going to be talking a little bit about bunkhouses. Well, here we are inside the Heartland Pioneer BH270. Great mid-level, but some of the features you're going to see in this, you're going to see across all RVs. Whether it's bunk model, a toy hauler, a rear living, rear dining, rear bath, whatever. There's going to be a lot of features that are going to come standard in your mid-level RVs. For example, I'd mentioned with our first RV how the manufacturers have changed the decors a little bit. Here you really get a good example of that. You get the light on the dark. People had said we want lighter accents with darker features, and we want the furniture to still be darker, because with darker furniture, you get less show of stains and less wear and tear. Now, with this one being a bunk model, a little bit different than that first one. The first one was single over single. This one is double over double. You can tell that the mattresses are much bigger. Still 72 inches long, but they are wider. The only difference, and this is purely based off the manufacturers, Jayco, their bunks can hold 300 for the single, 600 pounds for the double. This one has a 200-pound capacity for the double. So if weight is an issue, that's one of the things you need to talk to your specialist at Camping World in Gander to help you figure out. But you're still going to get a double bunk over a double bunk, windows, lights, power ports on most, and storage in some. So for example, you can see there, that's really, I mean, we call it storage, but that's really pipe access. I mean, in mine, I've put stuff in there. Do I recommend it? Probably not. You just got to be careful. But you're going to get things like the hideaway ladders to help the kids or the dogs get up onto those bunks. So we're talking mid-level. We're coming up a little bit when it comes to the features. Another feature, take a look at the door, the handles. It's still the same. You know, you got that solid door leading into the bathroom, but now we're talking a little bit of a different layout. We got ourselves a corner-mounted vanity sink right here with a bowl. We got a corner-mounted mirrored medicine cabinet. The other thing I try to tell people is try to find a medicine cabinet that has raised lips in it. Because when you're going down the road, if you have stuff in here, you go to set up, you open the door and everything falls out on you, it's not a good time. We have an access point in this one as well. With a lot of the longer bunk models, now this one's 32 feet 6 inches long. Well, 32 feet 6 1/4, 7,700 pounds. With models like that, you're going to get double access points on most of them. This is great because it's usually in the bathroom where you have either a plastic or a porcelain bowl. This one happens to be plastic. You still get the foot flush, but a little bit different look and feel with the shower too. Here we have a shower and a tub surround. You step in, still about mid-calf height for me. I'm 6'2". Now these are 78-inch high ceilings. Once again, I'm not really cramped up or down or left or right, but with the shower surround, I got corner notches. I got a sprayer nozzle just like we had in the other one. Plus I got my controls. Good spot to clean off the kids, get them washed off, or clean off the dogs before tracking into the living area of the RV. Now, all the manufacturers use a linoleum or a linoleum style flooring. They're easy to clean, slip resistant, and with Pioneer, you got carpetless slides or carpetless RVs. I like that because with carpet, you get stuff stuck in there. It's harder to clean. It wears down and looks nasty after a couple of years. But this woven material that they have here, easy to clean, looks nicer, and just give you a little bit more longevity. Now, this one, unlike the first one, has what's known as a slide, or a super slide in this case, because there's more than one component in it. We have our booth dinette. We have a jackknife sofa, which I'm going to get to here in a minute, and surrounded by large panoramic windows. Now, I'd mentioned in the first one how we had the wood valances with the decorative features on it. Still going to get that as well, but you get larger windows for cross flow of air, great light coming in, and when you're ready to sit down and enjoy a meal, boom. Here we go. You could easily get 4 people here to enjoy those camp cooked meals, enjoy looking at a beautiful, oh my goodness, speaking of, Kev, how great would this be? When was the last time you got a chance to get out and see a lake? You still get storage underneath in most models. And over here in the kitchen, a little bit different, we have a much larger fridge. Now, this is the Dometic fridge freezer combo that runs on both gas and electric. It also has the automatic switch. Some of the models do come with a 12-volt fridge, but what's cool about the ones they put in Pioneer, you have the Doodle Station on here, which is a chalkboard. So if you need to leave notes, you want to have the kids have some fun on a rainy day, you got an option to do that there. You still get solid wood construction. This one has the matte black features, which I particularly like myself. Good space, good storage. Upgraded features on this one include the HVAC system. You got the 13,500 BTU air conditioner right here with the quick cool dumps. It's ducted, as you can see here in the roof. And our heater on this one is 30,000 BTUs. Once again, a little bit nicer of an upgrade from that entry level because that one was 18, this one's 30. So you're gonna get a little bit more heat. Now, you also have a much bigger space, 32 feet versus 21 feet. So just something to think about. But on these, look at my surfaced countertops that we have here. Solid surface, molded edges, looks good. Undermounted 50/50 stainless steel sink here. High-rise faucet, large window on the campsite. So if I want to check out the kids playing, I can right there. And a flush-mounted 3-burner cooktop. Now, once you get out of the entry levels, pretty much from here all the way up to Premier, you're going to have flush-mounted cooktops with glass covers, grill-style grates. Some will be matte, some will be glossy. You're usually going to get a 16 or a 21-inch oven. This one happens to be the 16. You're going to get storage underneath. You're going to get cabinets, solid wood construction, full extension on ball bearing drives all the way through. And you're going to get a lot of times frosted glass inlays in the cabinetry. Just looks nicer. It's more of an upgraded camping experience for, believe it or not really that much more money. Now the jackknife sofa, this is what this is good for. We always say you can fit one person on here to sleep, but as you can see, being 6'2", over 200 pounds, this is how I sleep anyway. Now, it's not my bed. It's probably not the most ideal situation, but if we're camping, my wife and I, your spouse, the kids, you could probably get 2 on here fairly easily. And then when it's time for the jackknife to go back, just push it back, and you even have a fold down with cup holders. Nice reconnection spot, great place to sit and enjoy not only each other's company, but entertainment. Yep, a lot of the mid-level RVs have entertainment centers. Some even come with the TVs. But here's your TV backer, your cable connection, your power. Once again, there's your command center, which is pretty standard in all RVs. Got the dual zones, HDMI, Bluetooth, the whole 9. Gotta have your tunes when you're out camping. Good little storage. This one happens to feature a mudroom with hangers and a mirror. For mid-level, that's nice. And finally, to finish off the inside, here we come with the master bedroom. 60 by 80 queen size bed. You got mirrored ward storage, LED lights, got a little decorative headboard, LED light in there, plus power and storage underneath. Sometimes you even get strut supported. And to keep you away from the kids or the family, you even have a little pocket door to keep you rocking and rolling. How about that? So, mid-level versus entry-level. Construction, this one being aluminum, is still, either that 12, the 16, 18, whatever it is, studs on center with the fiberglass insulation on the inside. And speaking of the outside, what do you say? We go take a look at the outside. So here we go. Now the difference between this one and the first one we saw, solid steps leading into the entry point. You got grip tape. They fold up and stow away when you're ready to get back, when you're ready to take off. And the top step is usually a little bit larger, which is not only for security, it's also pet friendly. And that really helps out. Now this one has a nice 20-foot awning with the LED light strip. And on before, we saw how the speakers were mounted on the awning. Well, here they are on the outside, marine grade, good and strong. You still get the same safety glass all the way around. Over here, you get a little bit of an entertainment option too. You got power plus cable connection. And with this one being a little bit longer at 32 feet than the first one, this one is a double axle RV. So here we're still on those 14-inch rims, got the nitro-filled tires on those Dexter Easy Lube axles. 3,500 pounds per axle, which will really help when you're going down the road with that stability rocking back and forth, especially since you're pulling a 32-foot RV. Now, with the Pioneers, they've created what's known as King Kong size storage. What does that mean? Well, you get up to 52 cubic feet of storage on some of them. That's not going to be on every model, but they have really increased the storage options, which is nicer because it's wider and a little bit bigger. On some of the RVs, mid-level and up, you might even get a drop frame, which really increases the height of that storage. If that's something that's important to you, make sure you speak to your specialist at Camping World or Gander about that and say, hey, we're going to be traveling. We need a place to put big coolers. If you don't have a rack on the back, that's just always something to think about. But you'll see here, unlike the other one, finished off, we got an LED. That flooring continues through the storage just like it does throughout the rest of the RV. Looks good, good space. You could easily get your lawn chairs in there. And another feature when you're talking about mid-level and up, power stabilizer jacks. Having this really helps out for setting up and getting to camping quicker because you're not hand cranking. Heated and enclosed underbelly on this one as well. And I shut that friction hinge door. And you'll notice a lot of times with the extra large grab handles, they double as a door guard too. So that just keeps the door from bouncing around when you're going down the road. Come around to the back of this one, and we'll see something that I think is a tip of the hat to the manufacturer because it does come in handy. Pioneer adds the bike rack or the tailgate storage system onto the unit coming straight out the factory. This is great because sure, you got the spare tire mounted here, but if you are carrying the bikes or if you're carrying the coolers, you got an extra spot for it. You still get the 4x4 sewer hose storage on the back. You still get the arch ceilings with the rain nozzles over there. This one actually has the backup camera already on it. And since we have a slide, let me just show you the slide real quick. You'll notice with these bulb seals right here and with the little outs up there, that's what helped keeps the slide protected. Now, some models, you might even get slide toppers. That's more on the Premier models. But one of the things I try to tell people, get your own mattress. If you have a slide, get a slide topper. And then last but not least, I know we're kind of bouncing around a little bit, but there's a lot of features when you're talking about going from entry level to mid-grade. And one of them that I want to show you before we finish off here, look, remember I talked about the adjustable pitch? These are great too because some of the Solera awnings even have a rain sensor built in or a wind sensor built in, which means when it gets too windy, that awning goes back. Really saves the day because replacing an awning is not fun. Twin 20-pound LP tanks on this one, which is pretty standard, mid-grade and up. And look at the profile of this front cap right here. When you're talking about aluminum sided, having this is nice because it really helps with the insulation as well. Plus it gives you that more aerodynamic profile going down the road. And we have a powered tongue jack with LED light. I'm not hand cranking to set up. I'm not hand cranking to hook up. A little bit of differences between the entry level and the mid level. Hopefully you've picked up on those, but wait until you see what I got coming for you next when the travel trailers continue.
The best things happen outdoors, and they start at Gander RV and Outdoors.
And last but not least, let me talk to you a little bit about those premier or luxury travel trailers. These are the higher end that feature higher end amenities, tons of space, and pretty much all the creature comforts of home, and then some when you go out camping. Now, the one I'm standing in, I like to call the Chalet. This is the Keystone Outback 340BH. Keystone is known for their quality construction, and the Outbacks are known for having rugged quality, but beauty and also comfortability when you're on the road. Now, this 340BH can sleep up to 10 people. You're looking at 39 feet, 2 inches long, roughly 8,700 pounds, 8,752 if you want to split hairs, dry. So a little bit heavier, but this is also a fiberglass sided RV, which we're going to talk about once we get outside. But here, when you're talking about these premier travel trailers, just take a look at my bunk room. You got the hideaway ladder with storage behind it. You got a double over bunk over here, which has a 300-pound capacity. You got that 3-inch thick teddy bear style mattress, the plush, comfortable, large windows. And when you get up into those premier luxury travel trailers, you're going to get features like on this one, you have a 15K BTU AC and a 13.5 BTU AC. This has got 2 air conditioners and a 35,000 BTU furnace. The air conditioner is pushed through what's known as the Blade system. It's a little bit heavier power, distributes the air more evenly and more effectively. That's why you'll see Blade on these ducts when you're in any of the Keystone products. You're going to get blackout shades, strut supported single over bunk over here with 150-pound capacity, sitting over a plush leatherette Thomas Paine recliner. This is one of those setups, this 340BH, where if you want to do some entertaining or if the kids want to come play, they want to watch TV or whatever, they have the option to do it because you got this storage unit here with entertainment center space, solid wood construction, those matte black fixtures around, just nice features, lots of shelves, power, large windows, and once again, carpetless slide. Now this does fold out into a sleeper, and you can easily get 2 adults on there. It's one of those like hideaway sleeper sofas. And just take a look at the door. Much different than what we saw before, right? A little bit bigger, more decorative, solid wood with those panels. We come into the living area, and this is what's known as the opposing slide setup in the living area. When you have those opposing slides, you're usually going to get an island kitchen. Now this one, solid surface countertops, undermounted stainless steel sink with the drying rack and the sprayer nozzle, tons of prep space, LED accent lights, power, storage, great spot for the trash can, solid wood construction all the way around, beautiful and decorative. And I had mentioned that some of the RVs come with a 12-volt fridge. This one is one of the 11-foot GE 12-volt fridges. Kev, I'm gonna open that up so you can see. Fridge freezer combo, vibration smart, frost resistant, and lots of space for those weekend trips. Now, when you're talking about entertaining, cooking, and prep space in those premier travel trailers, especially one this big, you're going to get a lot of it, along with the decorative things like the LED light sconces, the skylight right here, 81-inch high barrel ceilings. Now, this unit with the ACs maxes out the travel trailer height. This one is 11 feet 9 inches high with the ACs on top. Also, one of those things to think about when you're traveling down the road. But take a look at all the prep area that I have here. I got that flush mounted 3-burner cooktop, which is standard in travel trailers, that grill style grate. I got a 21-inch Furrion oven on this one, pot and pan storage, solid wood construction once again, tons of storage space, solid surface countertop, flush mounted high point, high output microwave here. Some of them even come with convection ovens and a regular oven. Just very nice features. Strut supported storage on a lot of the drawers. And the construction and the beauty is really what, to me, makes these Outbacks pop. They're light, they're beautiful, and they look like a chalet. You can either get cloth or leatherette furniture in these. Here's another one of those Thomas Paine plush sofa sleepers right here. This is just great for just reconnecting and entertaining. You got large panoramic windows for those scenic views. I got myself a booth dinette over here, and just look at the attention to detail that they went in even making the table have that rustic style appearance. And this is what's known as a dream table or dream dinette because there's no legs underneath the bottom. You'll see we got LED accent lights, but I'm not kicking poles when I'm down here. I got plenty of room. This reduces down and also becomes a sleeper. You have storage underneath as well, which what's cool about the Outbacks is the bottom of the seat is solid wood and the storage is fold up. Good access. You don't have that crossbar to knock stuff around. You can actually get bags in there, and you're going to get plenty of pantry space inside premier travel trailers as well. Just look at the space that I have there. Take a look at my barn style door leading into my pantry / ward space. Now, the reason why it's pantry / ward is because it can double as both. You do have the ward bar here if you need additional space to hang your clothes, but you also have the shelves there. In some of the units, the shelves can easily be removed. Some of them, you actually have to get in there and like take the screws out to do it. But this one, having the barn door, just a nice aesthetic. Another nice aesthetic, when you get up into those luxury travel trailers, you're going to get a nice fireplace. Now, this is the InnoFlame. This one has 4,700 BTUs of heat, multiple flame settings, multiple light settings. And those fireplaces range anywhere from, 1,500 BTUs all the way up to like 5,000 BTUs. But most of them hover around that 4,000 to 5,000 BTUs. But what's unique about this Outback 340BH, you have a hideaway table, you have a hideaway TV right here that comes up out of the console. So it's a large HD TV. Let's see if I can find the control button here. I think I'm gonna run our battery out trying to get this up, but you can see that there's a hideaway TV. So if you want this to be entertainment or if you just want this to be space for decorations, plants, whatever, you have the option to do both. Plus you got the mushroom lights right here, large panoramic windows on both sides for cross flow, for light, for just getting out and enjoying where you're at. Now, with those Premier travel trailers, you're also going to get certain upgrades like the flooring that we have here. I had mentioned at the very first RV that we talked about that most of them have a linoleum or linoleum composite type of floor. Well, with the Premier travel trailers made by Keystone, this is a polypropylene laminated fiberglass floor. It's known as HyperDeck. Moisture resistant, really helps out with, keeping the insulation and just all around great. It was a very nice feature for, the current years. Plus carpetless slides. You have ducted heat in this one as well as ducted air. And the joints inside the ducting are what's known as Tough Lock. They're reinforced because one of the issues with floor ducts is sometimes when you're walking around, they'll crush and all of a sudden the duct shuts off. You don't get good heat. Keystone puts Tough Lock joints in their ducting so you don't have that issue. They're almost indestructible. Add that to the fact that you get just Premier built 35K BTU AC, 35K BTU heater, 15K BTU AC, and 13.5 BTU in the master. And then you walk into the bathroom and you're like, wow. High-rise porcelain bowl with the foot flush, decorative counter space, large vanity mirrors, and a lot of the Premier travel trailers will have solid glass and residential style showers. I mean, some of them go 36 by 48, some of them are 30 by 40. It just varies depending on the size of the RV. But you'll see with this single shower surround, with the skylight, I got plenty of room. I'm not cramped left or right. I have a very residential style and feel with my shower door. And I have one of the oversized large rain shower handles right here. Still decorative, matte black, plenty of space. Storage underneath. Hangers situated everywhere for coats, for towels. And you got your command center right here. Which some of these Premier travel trailers, you can even run the slides and control the HVAC from an app on your cell phone. Very nice features to have. Then right in here, we got ourselves a queen size bed. Strut supported storage underneath, very nice feature, and even a pet kennel because they think about the four-legged friends when we are camping. Got the beautiful high density foam. Here's my AC, large windows, large mirrored ward storage with shelves and hideaway cubbies. Plus some of the Premier travel trailers will have USB on both sides for charging plus 110 power. Entertainment mounts right here. And with Keystone, you get a pretty cool entertainment feature known as Key TV. It's a multi-source connection that allows you to not have to worry about chasing cables. If you want to set up satellite, you want to set up antenna, you want to set up cable, you're not running around. It's all in one spot, plug everything in, and the ports correspond inside the entertainment areas. But when you're talking about style, quality, comfort, convenience, luxury, it extends from the outside to the inside. And one of the things I love about a lot of these Premier bunkhouse units, let me show you down here. The outside kitchen. Because when you're in the outside, Why not have an outside kitchen? This really opens up not only the opportunity to do more when you're splitting those duties with cooking, but if you're gonna go drain the lake of fish, do some prep work, you can do it here, not have to take it inside. If you got inclement weather, you got a good high cover right here. This one happens to have the Suburner 2-burner cooktop on it, but a lot of those, you might get a flat top, you might get a Blackstone, you might even get a 3-burner. Hideaway, prep space, which is metal. You got the sink with the decorative matte black fixtures there. You got drawers for storage. Some of them will have the mini dorm style fridges. Some of them will have the large dorm style fridges, but these still come in handy to hold your drinks, your beverages, you know, your wines, your beers, your sodas, your apple juices, whatever. You're gonna get lights. Even on some of them will have entertainment connections. Like I mentioned on the inside, the Key TV, you got that there, as well as the power. Solid wood, those shaker style cabinets even continue to the outside. It's those little things that really separate the Premier RVs from the regular RVs. Strut supported here on my door too, and you'll notice that the hinges are even covered all the way around so that if there's any rain or these get wet, you won't have those rust streaks going down your beautiful fiberglass RV, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Got the 4x4 sewer hose storage there. That's our Key TV connection there. Arch ceilings, solid ladder going over the top, and backup camera prep. Now let's talk a little bit about the difference between fiberglass and aluminum. Now, the other two RVs that we showed during this segment, we talked that they were aluminum. This is fiberglass. Now, a lot of the aluminum RVs have the insulation that you have in your house. Usually fiberglass sided RVs have foam core insulation. And the difference helps not only with the weight, but it also helps with that R rating or that temperature rating. For example, this one here is rated from 0 degrees to 100 degrees. So you can really extend that 3-season camping while you're out there. Inside and behind this fiberglass panel is what's, you know, sometimes they'll have a Luan composite, which is a wood composite, or they'll have Azdel, which is a graphite composite. I prefer the Azdel because it's lighter, it's moisture, it does not have any moisture built up, and there's also no off-gassing going on. You'll get large awnings, you get external marine grade speakers. Sometimes you'll have the floodlights like we have on this awning right here. Sometimes you'll just have regular lights. But with Keystone, the way they make their slides in what's known as TrueFit. TrueFit is really, well, pretty much just that. It truly fits into the space. You still get the bulb seals, you still get the guides, but having a TrueFit slide reduces the use of the components to move it in and out. And when you reduce stuff that you use, you reduce the chance that things will break. So another nice feature, it still has that insulation all the way around. This one has a heated and enclosed underbelly on it as well. And I know it might be difficult to see, but you'll see we have aluminum rims on this one. On those Dexter Easy Lube axles, extra wide berth right there. Solid steps, just like we had on the mid-level. Really helps with the safety and security. This one is pre-wired for solar, so if you want to put on solar panels, you can. It's already set up for that. Another nice feature of some of those Premier travel trailers. But this one has what's known as a drop frame storage on it. If you notice, the frame goes here and then comes down. That just allows us to have more storage right here. Look how high that is. You could easily fit the camp chairs in there, slide your coolers in there, whatever. It's finished off, heated and enclosed, magnetic doors that are also anti-slam. Very nice feature. And another thing that I tell people, if you can, when you see this type of molding on the front, this is a fully molded end cap. It helps with the insulation. It helps, let's put it this way, it just means it's built a little bit better. How about that? When you see that as opposed to just a seal, it's gonna be a little bit more secure. You got that beautiful rough edge right here as a rock guard, that aggressive profile, the painted fiberglass end cap with the running lights, twin 30-pound LP tanks on this one. And you notice how wide this frame is? That's a cambered I-beam frame. And all of the travel trailer frames are gonna be anywhere from 6 inches up to 12 inches wide. It just depends on how big it is, how much weight's gonna be on it, and how strong it is. But these single welded aluminum cambered I-beams, extremely strong, extremely durable. Add that to the fact that we don't have just power stabilization, we have power leveling. As I mentioned on the front, there's a little bit of difference between powered stabilization and powered leveling. Here is that. This is auto leveling. You literally just plug in, hit the auto mode, and this will level the RV for you. So if you're on one of those grades at your campsite, because not all of them are going to be flat concrete pads, this is a great feature. Last but not least, on one of these Premier travel trailers, you're going to get things like external command centers for all your connections. You should have on most of them an outside shower, a city water connection, a black tank flush. Plus, you might have bypasses for the fresh tank fill to the city water connection, so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, with so many flavors of RVs, travel trailers, you can really find the one that's right for you. Find the RV of your dreams. They're going to range, like I mentioned on the front end, from 1,500 pounds to up to 10,000 pounds or more. 6 feet wide, 7 feet wide, 8 feet wide, 9 feet high, 11 feet high. It really just depends on what type of RV travel trailer is going to be right for you. Do you need rear dining, rear entertaining? Do you need a bunk model? Do you need a toy hauler? Because we have some toy haulers that have 11-foot garages, 13-foot garages. You could lose your mind trying to find the one that's right for you. But trust me on this, if you've been looking for a bumper pull or a travel trailer, what you're going to find at Camping World and at Gander RV and Outdoors is we have one that's right for you. Hopefully today I showed you some good examples of which type of travel trailer is going to be right for not only your camping style, but your budget, entry level, mid-level, or luxury. I'm pretty sure when you roll the dice, since it is the most popular RV out there, you're going to find the one that's right for you. But be sure to take this information back to your specialist at Camping World and at Gander and say, here's what I need to sleep, here's what I need to camp, here's where I'm going to take it, and here's what I'm going to tow with it. And from there, we'll find the RV of your dreams, guaranteed. I'm Chris Young. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
That's an American buffalo. This is my first time ever seeing a buffalo. Traveling by RV in America gives me so much pride. My name is Philip, AKA Phil Walkie, AKA Phil the Culture, and I love to travel. I love to experience different cultures all around the world. Even though I've been to so many countries, I've never really explored America. America, America. This is actually my first time ever RVing. What's up? Come on in and check out my RV. A lot of time is spent at this table looking at maps. Mission at hand is to RV through South Dakota, visit Black Hills, see Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore. I'm RVing through South Dakota to see new places, meet new people, and feel the culture. Traditional cowboy dish, Rocky Mountain oysters. How does it prepare?
So they're bow balls.
Bull balls.
Bow balls.
I'm all for the culture.
All right.
Little dip, here we go. Not bad at all, you know? Riding in the RV, sometimes you see some spontaneous places like Waldrop. After a long drive, you gotta nourish yourself with donuts. The sights, the smells, the sounds, the foods, the people, it gets me going. So when you're going on an adventure, you gotta make sure you're prepared. One day we had snow, one day we had sunshine, and I was just fine because I had the RV. I am in the Black Hills National Forest. It is a sight to see. I mean, when we get to the top of the mountain, I'ma say it on the side of a mountaintop. I'ma say it on the side of a mountaintop. I'ma say it on the side of a mountaintop. I'ma say it on the... Help me sing! So right now, we're at the most iconic spot, Mount Rushmore. We got Washington, Theodore, Abraham, and TJ. My mission in travel is to change people's perspective on men of color. Wisconsin. I use positivity as a tool to get people to open up and be open about me coming to them.
The term Sioux actually comes from the French fur traders, but we prefer to call ourselves Lakota, Dakota, Nakota. In our language, we say Paha Sapa, or the Black Hills, and this is where the creation story of our people come from.
And that man right there, how do you say his name? It's Crazy Horse, what I know.
Yeah.
How do you say his name?
So in our language, we say Tashunke Witko.
Tashunke Witko. This monument is just as important as Mount Rushmore, and I didn't know their history was so much American history, and just to hear it made me just think like how important it is. So I felt him. I felt where he was coming from when he was speaking his words and telling his story. Respect, Crazy Horse. Traveling by RV is definitely something I would do again. And when I do have a family, I'm gonna gas it up and we're gonna hit the open roads and we're gonna travel again.